had major anxiety about it all. And then on top of it, to feel like I'm letting these two coaches down was making it so much worse. And when I reached out, they were so immediately understanding. And I think I'm gonna get teary-eyed just thinking about replaying it all. And right away we decided we can make this happen, right? Like I can record it, I can go live. And it reminded me why I'm here, because I was in corporate America for years and this would have never worked. It just, not that we can't do things via video, but there are so many rules and are you on PTO or are you not? And do you just take the time off and let everybody down? And it's so much harder to be flexible. And that's what I worked hard for, was this flexibility where I can still talk to you guys, still be a part of this and be home with my little one, with everything that we're going through right now. So thank you guys so much for making this work. The topic today, specifically what we're going to talk about is the psychology of sales and price. And this is something I really like speaking about because the first time I ever did a presentation about sales, psychology of sales and price, I actually worked in corporate. I was a sales trainer, so it was long before Beachbody. And what's interesting about price is whether you have the cheapest product on the market or the most expensive product on the market, the psychology of sales plays in the exact same way. And it's interesting to think about it that way. How many of you guys in the room, and feel very comfortable, like total honesty, how many of you think if Shakeology was a little bit cheaper, I could sell it to every single person on my blog, right? And I've had coaches tell me this, like if it was just a little bit less, I know that I could get people drinking it. I know that I could get them ordering every single month. And the truth is no, you wouldn't. How many times have you said something is too expensive and then turned around later and bought something that was actually $ more, right? Dollar value was actually more. And that's because your perceived value of whatever it was higher. So it's not that the price tag itself is too high, it's that we don't see the value in it for the price. So even if whatever we were looking at was half, even if all of a sudden we slashed our prices in half, if you don't present price in a certain way, you're not going to increase sales. You're not actually going to help more people. You have to change the way you present it, whether Shakeology or our challenge packs or any of our products were half their price or double their price. It all comes down to how you present it. And that's the psychology of price. So first things first, okay? We all of us, I've done it. You must have done it yourself. We all say we cannot afford something when we don't see the value, period. That's the line that we use. I have people all the time trying to sell me these shampoos and skincare items and all this stuff. And there are so many times I say, yeah, I just can't really afford that right now. What I'm actually saying is, I don't really see how that shampoo is better than the one I'm currently using. I don't feel like I'm having an issue with my hair. Therefore, spending the money on something that I don't really need, I can't afford that. And I can't afford taking that action. It does not mean I don't have the dollars to spend. Remember that. There are some people that simply do not have the money to spend. That percentage is very, very small. And here's how I know that. Can I please get a show of hands? How many people in the room in the last 30 days have purchased something either at Target or on Amazon that you did not budget for in the beginning of the month? Raise your hand.
Oh, that's almost everyone in the room, just FYI.
Yeah, right? And I just named 2 places, you guys. I didn't even say like how many of you bought something that you didn't budget for. I specifically said Amazon and Target because I know we are buying things that we did not plan at those 2 places specifically. I can tell you right now, I can go through my Amazon orders and start pinpointing all this stuff I probably didn't have to have. So why do we do that? Those people that are telling you I can't afford it, they did that too. They did that too. They went to those same exact places and they bought something that was out of their budget because they had a perceived value associated with that item in the moment. Okay. So it's not that the dollars aren't in the bank. When someone tells you I can't afford it, it does not mean there's a negative balance in my bank account, with the exception of a small percentage of people, right? Like there are people who obviously maybe are in a financial rut where they really cannot afford it. The majority of people who are telling you this, high majority, are still spending money at Amazon and Target that they did not plan for. People who are broke, right, who cannot afford to eat, are not going to go to Target and Amazon, or they shouldn't be and be spending money. It's because all of us say we can't afford things that we don't see value in. All right. When they don't see the value in Shakeology and the challenge packs, or even themselves, right? They don't think they need it or they're worth it. Where do we go from there? How do we fix that situation so that the value and the price are in line? Well, I'm going to backtrack a little bit. I'm going to tell you guys my story. So I bought Shakeology in September of 2014. I bought it as part of a 3-day refresh. I thought the refresh was cool. I was like, all right, this is cool. I lost a little bit of weight. I never did anything afterwards. And so I went back to my old ways. I had bought the challenge pack that comes with a full bag of Shakeology. And so the second month, when that second shipment came, I remember getting it and I thought, oh, I don't really need more of this. Like, it was cool, it tasted good, but I don't really need more. I was buying protein shakes from Max Muscle for years, right? So I figured my protein shake that comes in this huge tub and it's definitely more cost effective is the same stuff. Okay. And I genuinely thought it was the same stuff. And so after month 2, what did I do? I canceled. And when my coach asked me about it, I said, I'm good. I really can't afford it right now. Not necessarily true. I was spending money on other areas of my life, right? And for me, why did I say I can't afford it? I thought it was the same stuff I was already using. And even though she did her due diligence and she told me about everything Shakeology can do, I wasn't quite convinced, okay? And I thought, yeah, okay, that's great, but I'm pretty happy where I'm at. Fast forward from September to June, I actually joined a challenge group and really committed. What changed? To this day, you guys, I remember one post that my coach did, and I'll never forget it. She had made herself a shake, and she was about to go out to dinner with friends and family, and she had posted a picture of her drinking her shake, and she said, if I can have a little bit of my Shakeology now, then when I'm out to eat, I'm not going to splurge. And that's the post that did it for me. She tapped into something where I struggled. I was living in San Francisco. Every time we went out to eat, it was so hard for me not to splurge on food. And so she tapped into a very specific need. She didn't know she did. And so everyone you're talking to has a specific need, has an area that's a weakness. It could be their skin, right? Like Shakeology, I had someone tell me, you got me when you said Shakeology made a difference in your skin. All right. So how do we make sure that we're tapping into those needs, right? Let's back up. When you first speak to someone, I know you guys all do this because I learned it from all of you, right? The first thing we ask someone are, what are your goals, right? What do you want to accomplish? Tell me what your need is. You've got to dig deep. Back when I was in corporate, we used the analogy of an onion, right? You've got to peel the layers of an onion back. What happens when you peel an onion? You start crying, right? And so you've got to have the person you're talking to really start peeling the layers back so they can get emotional and get deep, right? When they just say, I've got like 5 pounds to lose, there's an issue there. They have 5 pounds maybe to lose. How invested are they in losing those 5 pounds? Do they even care that much? Does it really affect them, or is there something else going on? Ask them, how important is it to you to lose those 5 pounds? Well, you know what? I'll be honest. It's not really the 5 pounds. I mean, if I lost it, that'd be great. But if I didn't, it would be fine. It's the fact that I'm about to be a grandma, and I don't think I can chase after my grandchild, right? That's where the emotions are at. So you got to dig a little bit deeper, because if you don't tap into what it really is that they really want, then you're looking at this surface of 5 pounds, and it's something that's trivial to them. Now, if the 5 pounds is very important, it's like, no, I'm determined. I'm not going to be happy until I get back to this. Then that's fine, and that is a good enough reason. But you've got to get the person really committed to the goal that they're telling you, and making sure that they're not just handing you a goal just to hear what you've got, okay? They want to know, what is it you've got? Give me what you got. And before we show them all that, I need them to open up, and I want to peel back the layers of that onion. The more layers that you can peel back, the more likely they're going to have a higher perceived value of what your product is. And that's where the disconnect can happen. In that first few moments of discussion, when you're talking about what they need, and you start telling them, well, we have this challenge group, and here's what you get, and here's what we do, they start immediately creating a value in their mind. Okay, you guys, we all do this with any product someone's talking to us about. If you're going to go buy a TV, and all of a sudden they're talking to you about the features, in my mind, The more excited I get about the features, the more I start raising that price tag. I'm like, okay, well, maybe this is this much. Maybe it's this much. The more excited you get about the features and benefits, the more you raise the price in your mind. Okay. Now, when I finally find out the price, if the price that I had in my mind is higher than the actual price, I'm probably going to buy that item. If the price is in line, we're in a good spot. However, if there's a disconnect and I have an idea in my head and you throw something at me significantly higher, that's where the issue is. Now we have this big gap because you've only shown me this much value and the price tag is up here in my mind. All right. And now we've got to bridge that gap. And once you've given them the price, bridging that gap is really hard. They've already shut down half of their brain to even think about what you're talking about. They're no longer going to want to tell you what they're feeling because they're already thinking like, sorry, that disconnect's just too big for me. It's not that they actually can't afford it. Because if they go talk to someone from another company and that person taps into that need that they have and they peel back the onion and they've got them pouring their heart and soul out, they're going, oh my gosh, you can actually help me. Yes, that's exactly what I need. That price tag is going up, 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 up. They might pay $300 to work with that person to lose whatever that weight is or get into those pants or chase after their grandchild. When they told you they can't afford our package for $160. Let that sink in, you guys. They are willing to pay someone else a lot more if the perceived value is higher. And the way you raise that value is by finding that need that really matters most to them. And then when we present what we do, you're presenting specifically to them. So when they tell you I can't run after my grandchild, instead of saying, yeah, we have this awesome shake and it's going to help you feel full, we're going to say we have this awesome shake that's going to give you this natural energy, because it does. But I'm going to focus more on that than I'm going to focus on a different feature. All right, before I go on, are there any questions or anything? Because I feel like I kind of just threw a bunch at you guys. Yeah, you guys are all good?
We're not muted, so go ahead, guys. Yeah, we're not muted, so I can. Steve, can you hear us?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Go ahead, guys.
See, in your scripting and such, do you have a certain amount of numbers of follow-ups or, like certain amount of responses that you go through before you get to the goal amount of the dollar amount?
Yes, and I'm going to cover that. That's a really good question. Like, how do I actually get to presenting price?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I absolutely do, and I am going to share that with you guys. That's a good question. Mm-hmm. So let's actually talk about presenting price. That's perfect, like, segue to that. Before I go over like what I do beforehand, a couple of things I will say. Your confidence level in the price is the most important thing, and you kind of have to fake it until you really get that place where you truly feel it. But when people tell me it's too expensive, my knee-jerk reaction is so fast. Really? I would seriously pay like 3 times this amount. But I get how you feel felt found, right? I get how you feel. I totally felt that way, but I'm telling you right now, I would pay 3 times the amount for Shakeology today. 3 times. And I am so confident in that immediately they sense that confidence where it's like, oh, okay. Right? If I'm apologizing for the price, or I'm like, yeah, I know it is, but it really is the best, and you really are going to get all of these ingredients, you're apologizing for the price when you say it that way. And they sense it and just lost them. You got to have crazy killer confidence, even if you have to fake it in the beginning. All right. So when I'm presenting price, just keep that in mind, the confidence. By the way, I'm sorry, guys. I'm at my sister's, and I didn't realize they actually have a phone. Like, who actually still has a phone? I'm hearing it ring, and I'm like, I don't even have their number. Someone does, though. All right. So when I present price, I never, ever mention price unless the person asks for it. Like, ever. I don't bring it up until they ask for it. Here is why. How many times have you guys been pitched something and you want to tell the person, no, I'm not interested, because they haven't found a need and you don't think you need their product, and you want to say no. The best way to say no is to say you can't afford it, right? So I'm like, well, okay, well, how much is it? And I do that to shut you up. That's the truth. I know that if you can just give me the price, I can say something along the lines of, okay, well, thanks. I'll think about it. Because I got what I want out of you. Goodbye. I'm out. I don't have to listen to you anymore. So when people come up to you and say, like, okay, that's cool, how much is it? They just want to get the info and decide on their own. They don't want to be sold to. They're so scared and nervous that you might find out the need and then they're going to get sold to. And that's why when you do uncover that need, it's so important to build a relationship, because our goal is not to sell to you. It's you're going to find something that actually helps you and you want to work with us, right? But people do have this fear of, I don't want to be sold to. Give me the price. Let me run away and do my own research. Well, how much is it? And I don't want to give away the one thing I have that you want, which is price, until I know that I have a need and I've created value in the product. I have to create that value before I give you the price. My goal that in your mind, you're thinking about what I'm telling you and you're doing the math and you're going, this probably costs about $300. If I can get someone to even think it costs $200, we are in a good place, right? And I can't do that without really building that relationship. So that's in a short sales cycle, by the way. If you were selling something like a house, you would never do that. You want to make sure that we're on the same page with budgeting right away. But we have a very short sales cycle, and so the price does not need to come up until the very end. You have to create the value first. So I discuss their goal. I really try to peel back the layers. I try to get them talking. Some people will pour their heart and soul out right away. Some people, it's like trying to hammer through a brick wall. Right? They're like, oh, no, I'm just curious. They don't want to tell you anything. And it takes a little bit of practice asking questions when people don't want to give you anything. Okay, well, give me, like, what prompted you to reach out to me is what I like to ask. What prompted you? There's a lot of products out there. Have you tried anything else? Can you tell me about your current lifestyle? And they'll say, well, just tell me what you have. I'll say, we have a lot of packages. I'm really trying to understand which one I should tell you about. Give me a little bit more. Like, what would it mean to you to lose the weight? How long have you been trying? As many questions as possible to get them talking, okay? And I know sometimes it feels like you want to give up because it's like, oh my gosh, they're never going to give you info. Keep trying to ask just a little bit more. And you guys, there's times where I give up too, where I'm like, I'm not going to get anything out of them. I'm just going to tell them what I have. Those are the times it's a lot harder and the person ends up going a different way. So the more you try to ask questions, the better. And then there's the people that write you like an essay from the very beginning. That's perfect. You have so much to work with those people. Okay, so then let's say we finally get their need, and I know exactly what it is. She wants to be able to run after her grandkids, because right now that doesn't seem like it's possible. Then I tell them exactly why what I can do can help her achieve that specific goal. And I ask the question, would you like to join us? Like, you have to ask for their business, ask them to join. Are you ready to do it? Okay. I have not brought up price. Now, a couple things can happen. There's 3 things that can happen after you say, are you ready to join? Number 1, they're going to say the most obvious, well, how much is it? Number 2, they're going to give you an objection. Well, I really like it, but I'm just not a shake person. Okay. We do hear that sometimes. Or number 3, so it's either they're going to say, they're going to give you an objection. They're going to say, what's the price? And then sometimes you get super lucky and they don't even ask the price and they say, yes, sign me up. And you're like, what just happened? Like, they actually, and that means you created, and hopefully it's not an issue where they think it's free, because I know sometimes that happens. But every now and then you've created so much value that they're just like, I'm going to do it. Whatever it is, like, I'm in, right? Doesn't happen that often. When it does, you're just like doing the happy dance at home. Let's hit the first scenario. So scenario number 1 is they ask, how much is it? And scenario number 2 is an objection. They give you an objection, handle the objection. And that's like a whole separate training. And I know on the Champions page, there's a ton of training on like the best way to handle objections. So whatever the objection is, I have bad knees, I don't want to work out, I don't have Facebook, I don't know, whatever the objection is, you handle it. Now, after you handle the objection, it's really important. You have to go back and invite them again after you make sure they feel comfortable. I totally understand how you feel. Let's get to a point where they feel better about whatever it is that's stopping them. They go, you're right, I can do this. All right, are you ready to do it? Let's move forward. And you're back in that cycle again, where they either are going to say, how much is it? Or they're going to say, yes, I want to join. Or they could give you a brand new objection you never thought of before, or they never thought of. Most likely, they're going to probably say, how much is it? All right, well, before I commit to joining, how much is it? There's a question you can ask here. that is going to set you up so much better for when you actually do give them the price. And here's that question. Put price aside for just a minute. Based on everything I told you, if the price made sense for you, does it sound like this is something you want to do? If the price were not an issue, like I know it is, but let's just pretend the price was perfect. Based on everything I told you, is this something you would want to do? If you can get them to say yes at this point, like absolutely yes, I love this, you just upped your closing rate significantly. What we're trying to find out here is if there's anything else. Because you guys, when people say it's too expensive, 9 times out of 10, price is not the objection. Price isn't. There are sales trainers out there that will tell you price is not an objection. I'm not going to go after and say 9 times out of 10 it's not an objection. It's masking a different objection, okay? And that's why people that say no to you, all of a sudden you log in and you're like, what? They joined this other company and she bought that package when she told me it was too expensive? What just happened? Because it wasn't really something else. There was a disconnect. They didn't feel that what we presented them is going to give them what they're looking for. And I want to make sure that I've done my job showing you how we can help you before you make it a price issue. So if the price was in line, everything I showed you today, does it sound like something that's going to help you achieve what you want? And if they say absolutely, if the price makes sense, I am so in, you're in. Guys, the 160 price tag is not going to deter someone who sees that much value. If they were to say, well, it really depends, to be honest with you, like I'm just not thinking this is what I want. Well, then it doesn't matter what the price is. Like you guys could give it to them for 20 bucks. They don't want it, right? Like even if it was dirt cheap, they don't want what you have to offer. And so, and to be honest, you kind of have to go back to the drawing board and see if they'll hear you out. And you got to dig in even deeper and find out, why is there a disconnect? It's not about price. Had you jumped ahead and just given them the price without asking them, you would have never known, because they're just going to say, oh, okay, well, I'll think about it. It's kind of out of my budget. I'll think about it. And that's it. You kind of lost your chance until you scroll Facebook and find out that they joined somebody else instead. All right. So that question right there, put price aside. If the price totally made sense for you, I'm just curious, is everything else I showed you what you're looking for? Would you join? Okay, any questions so far? Okay. And then I give them the price. If they say, yeah, I love it, I want to do it, awesome. And I recap what I say is, okay, so here's what you're going to get. And I do it fast. You don't want this to be super lengthy because I've already explained everything and I don't want to drag out the price. So I say, awesome, I'm just going to do a little recap. Here's what you get in your challenge pack. And all of that is 160. The very last thing I say is the price, is the very last thing that comes out when I'm typing or a voice memo, whatever it is. And then I drop it right there. If you say anything after the price, this is like old school sales tactics, but I swear to God, I believe it, you guys. It is apologizing. How does this sound? It's $160 for the package, but here's what you get. You get this, and you get this, and you get all of this, and it's such a great deal. You're going to love it. It sounds like you're apologizing. Rather than say it beforehand, here's what you're going to get. Here's what the package comes with. And that package right there is $160. Right there. That's it. No apologizing afterwards. All right. The last thing, if there's no other questions right now, or kind of like how I present it, you guys good? Okay. I touched on this earlier, but I want to make sure it kind of deserves a whole nother section right now, is presenting features and benefits. So I'm going to have you guys call out a couple features for me of toilet paper. What are some features of toilet? I've seen like so many of the ads, right? Like, what are some features?
Soft. Wait.
Who said soft, right? Okay. Soft. Give me 3 of them. Soft.
Thick.
Can't hear you. What is it?
Thick.
Thick.
White.
Okay. I'm gonna skip that one. I'm gonna throw in 2-ply. Okay. All right. So if you hear someone, they're like, "Oh my gosh, this is the softest toilet paper," because that's a feature. Our toilet paper is 2-ply. That's a feature. Okay. Our toilet paper is the thickest. That's a feature. Stop focusing on the features when you're selling whatever it is you're selling and talk about the benefits. So let's go back to toilet paper. Why is 2-ply or why is soft a benefit?
Because sandpaper on your butt feels terrible.
Sandpaper on our booty. Why is 2-ply a benefit? Like, what's the big? Okay, 2-ply. Why is it a big deal if it's 2-ply?
Keeps your hands clean.
Let's be honest, guys. Do you remember like middle school when they had those like little sheets? Right? So we want 2-ply because there's a benefit. So focus on the benefits. If you think about all of the features of Shakeology, and I catch myself doing this, you guys, okay? I don't want you to think I never do this. I catch myself and I'm like, I'm just blabbering features at these people. You got to take it to the benefit. So what are some features of Shakeology?
Keeps you energized.
I'd say that's a benefit, actually. The keeps you energized would totally be a benefit. So if you're saying that, you're on the right track. Feature would be more like has 70 superfoods.
Phytonutrients.
Yes, that's a great one. Whoever said phytonutrients. So someone tell me, like, that's a great feature, but let's speak their language. Why is that a benefit to me to get phytonutrients?
You're gonna be healthier.
I wasn't ready for a follow-up.
We all have some homework to do. But yes, you guys, it's what our body needs, right? It's what we're lacking in our current nutrient profile. All right. Why do we need all of these 70 superfoods, right? Whatever specific one it is, we can talk about the features all day long, but it doesn't connect in the person's brain. And that's why when I saw that post that my coach did, and she talked about how before she went out to dinner, satisfied her cravings. What is it in Shakeology that satisfies her cravings? Well, it's probably because it's nutrient dense. But if she had said, I'm sitting here enjoying my nutrient dense shake, I would have been like, good for you. I've got my nutrient dense shake too, because I honestly really didn't know what that meant. So I figured your shake's nutrient dense, my shake is probably nutrient dense. She didn't say that. What she talked about was the fact that her shake kept her full, so she didn't go out to dinner and eat everything on the menu, right? That's what mattered to me. I really don't, at the time, I could care less that it was nutrient dense. That didn't mean anything to me. And same thing with the people that are following us. So focus on the benefits and stop talking about the features. All right, you guys, that's pretty much all of it. I'm happy to dive in deeper, answer questions. Let me know what you guys are thinking. I see a hand in the back.
So what if they do ask about the price straight from the joke?
If they do what?
Ask about the price straight from the very beginning.
Yeah, so that's a great question. I get that all the time, right? So I simply say, we have a few different packages, kind of depending on what you're looking for. Can you tell me a little bit about your current lifestyle? Are you currently out? What's your nutrition like? And then I always do like a little parentheses and go, and don't feel bad if it's not great. Like, I'm not here to judge. I just want to be able to present you the best, the best option for you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Anyone else?
Quick question, Z. When you were pregnant, did you drink Shakeology?
Every single day. And if you're nauseous, the best way is to make the strawberry super tart nuts and Greek yogurt in there.
And are you drinking it when you're breastfeeding?
Every single day. Yep. And you guys, it turns into the best lactation smoothie. Every single day. And I will obviously add the disclaimer. You should always check with your doctor. Right? Make sure that your doctor's on board. But my doctor was not on board the first time when I first walked in. And the answer, I will talk about this because I think it's really important. So when I first brought it up, he was like, we try to stay away from this stuff. And I was like, well, I don't understand. Like, help me explain what you mean by that. So they cannot do studies on pregnant women, you guys. So what they do is they classify everything as a P classification, meaning we don't know because they can't do a study on like if you're pregnant, are you going to put yourself in a test group? Sure, try out all these products on me. We can't do that with anyone. There's no pregnant woman is getting your body to test something. And so the knee-jerk reaction is to say no to anything like that. But I came back with the ingredient list and I was like, okay, let's look at this together. Like I actually want to talk about it. Is there anything in here that's a problem? And we were fine. I just had to make sure that I was adding the other things, like the folate and that type of thing that I needed. But when I came back and we had the discussion, it was fine. And it was actually like, okay. And I, happy to say, had a healthy pregnancy. But if you are pregnant and you're considering, whether or not you should definitely talk to the doctor.
Well, thank you so much, Steve. We really appreciate it.
You're so welcome. You guys feel free to reach out to if you have any questions or if there's anything that you want me to send you that I covered that you didn't write down.
Thank you. And we recorded this, so I'll add it to my YouTube and then I'll send it to everybody.
Thank you. Bye, you guys.
Thank you.